Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commissioner Double A here, bringing you guys a quick tutorial, this time on how to move players to your taxi squad. Kudos to most of you. You guys have probably figured it out. There's a couple teams out there that haven't moved it, so I just want to make everybody aware and just go over some strategies that you can use to implement it during the regular season. So apologies in advance as well for our league. You're going to see the Commissioner Powers update. I was making some moves so you guys can see what happens post transition on a player. So just be aware of that. Nothing shady or anything like that. But if you go over here to your team tab, right, so you're starting the matchup, go over to the team tab, you're going to see your starters here. These are the players that obviously count towards your weekly totals. Your bench players that you have access to rotate them into the starting role. And then down here, your taxi squad. So a couple things to note here. So, for example, you have a rookie. You click on them. If they're available to be transitioned, you'll see this TX, taxi squad, okay? You click on that, it moves them out. So Jones here, boom, same thing. If you click on a player that isn't eligible, you'll see the following. So let's say I pick on Dawson Knox, you'll only be able to transition him into a starting role, right? If you move a player that is no longer eligible, so for example, Tony, boom, I move him, he is now here. Once you do that and they're outside of their rookie year, so starting year 2, you can no longer do it, okay? You only can move them into the starting role. You can no longer move them to the taxi squad. Now, here's why I'm so bullish, and I think the fantasy community in general is so high on Sleeper. It just all the features that you have at your disposal. So let me kind of go down a couple things you can do to keep in mind. If you click on the player, you can actually directly from the taxi squad, from any lineup, you can drop the player directly. So let's say they get dropped by their real world team, they get injured, they retire, they get suspended, whatever. If you want the space in your taxi squad, it really won't impact you, but you can drop them. You can also place them. This button right here is the trade block. So if you click on that, it'll ask you if you want to confirm, and then boom, I hit yes. He is now on my trade block. So everybody will be notified that I just placed them on my trade block. Another cool feature is you can show interest in a player, okay? So for example, if you go over to league over here, and then I go to Henry's team, I actually just did this in the pre-recording, but I can show interest in Pierre Strong. So that way Henry knows that I'm interested in that. He can try to build a trade off of that if he wanted to. So really cool features. Another thing is, remember that if you make a trade with a taxi squad player, I will ensure that the player goes over to their taxi squad should they have an open slot, regardless of what week we're in. All right, I want to touch briefly on strategy. So there's a lot of factors that are going to contribute to the decision-making process, right? Space being one of them. So you may just want to play them right off the bat, all your rookies into the taxi squad just based on roster spots alone. You can pull them out at any time, right? But you can't place them in after that 2-week period. You don't want to prolong playing your players if they're going to have a role and that you're confident in that. But at the same time, you don't want to do anything prematurely. Isn't that right, champ? He knows all about that. No, but in all seriousness, a real world example, for example, is St. Brown. So if we go to here, game log, he really popped off in the playoffs last year. But I actually probably didn't take advantage of it till the later part of that. He was kind of in a situation to where they weren't really playing for anything, and it was the Lions. You can't really blame me, but at the same time, there wasn't anything in the free agency that was going to be up to par with that performance, and I had a ton of injuries, so I was really forced to do so. But if I had waited, if I hadn't played him, I probably wouldn't have made it into the championship round. That being said, you would want to be in a situation where you're pulling a player out because you think there's going to be an uptick, and maybe there isn't. A good example of that would be, let's say Pacheco. Let's say theoretically Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes down. If I immediately take him off my taxi squad because I assume that there's going to be an uptick in usage, but there isn't, or let's say the injury's only 4 to 6 weeks, I could potentially play him for that period of time, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it or not performance-wise. The same is true if I wait. If I wait a week or two to see how they implement them, well, now, let's say it's a 4 to 6 week period. If I wait 2 weeks, now I'm down to maybe 2 to 4 weeks of performance that may occur. And so sometimes it's not worth it at all. You really kind of want to see the proven stats before you make a decision. That way, you're making the best informed decision that you can. Sometimes it doesn't matter. If they're going to win you a week, that may be enough. Just know that over the long course, now you're down 1 bench spot. If I would have, let's say, left them on my taxi squad, it wouldn't be a situation I would have to worry about. Keep those things in mind before making a decision and make the best informed decision. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know for sure. Little side rant story. I asked myself, so you guys saw the notifications. I actually did a couple takes. You guys know content creation. You should know that the first take rarely is perfect. So I had multiple takes. So I had to keep changing Tony back into the taxi squad so I could show you guys what happened post-transaction, right? Like once you take him out of the squad, how it looks and that you can't go back and revert it. Well, I don't. You saw in the beginning of the video. I don't know when the hell I placed Knox into the Superflex. I even gave you guys the damn announcement to not play that shit, and I didn't see it. I didn't catch it. I checked it. I triple checked it. I was going through all my leagues, and after the game, I saw that he was in the damn Superflex. So this might cost me the game, but that's a little side rant story. I kind of screwed myself and shot myself in the foot for doing the damn recording, but it was important to me to get it out to you guys before Sunday so that you guys are all aware that you guys can play players if you need to for at least the first 2 weeks. Another just highlighted alert, make sure that you guys are aware that after this week, the waivers will open, bidding will be active, and you will be able to pick up players after this week. So there is fab though, remember that. So bidding is active. Make sure to place your bids. Other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. This is Double A. Out.